Hey Warriors fans, welcome back for another episode of Outside the Box. And this week he makes his much anticipated debut to the program. He is your captain of the Vancouver Warriors, number 2, Matt Beers. How you doing, Matt?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. I guess first off, major thanks for the work you and your colleagues are doing on the front lines these past few months. How has the fire hall changed during all this? Have you guys cut down on the number of firefighters on duty at the same time? Are the beds and lockers more spread out, or?
We've been cleaning nonstop. We've been disinfecting with products that can kill the virus and making sure that when the shift comes on, they've disinfected for us to come on to shift, and we disinfect right away just to do our own due diligence. I'm just being extra vigilant because we definitely know that if things get bad, we're going to need the first responders to be able to respond, and we can't be getting sick and being lazy and not respecting social distancing. So we're trying to follow that to a T and set an example.
I'm sure you'd want to be around all your teammates at this time of the year, but some of your teammates are actually co-workers at the fire hall as well. That has to be a nice perk.
Yeah, it's really nice for me because we definitely have that camaraderie on and off the floor. And just for the rest of it, we've been doing a pretty good job staying in touch on, the group chats or doing Zoom and poker nights. And it is nice to see all the boys, but we definitely are still keeping in touch as best we can.
And so at the hall, you got McBride, McCready, Caudron. You just recently got new Warrior Brett Mitsky at the fire hall as well. So for Warriors fans who maybe aren't familiar with Brett and what he does on the floor, what kind of player are you guys getting next year?
Well, you know what? Brett's a phenomenal athlete. He's definitely a world-class player. He's won at every level, and we're very lucky to have signed him. He's going through a group with Colton Porter, so Brett and Colton will be, taking a year off through probation, and they'll be ready to go next year to help the squad.
I have some friends who are firefighters, and they say the fire hall is pretty comparable to a sports locker room. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's super tight. I mean, we all try and help each other, and we train together to accomplish a task, which is kind of like game day when we get a call and an incident. But you still have that comfort when you go back to the hall. You can joke around. You can, talk to them if something's going wrong in your life, and you really have that support network. So definitely very much like a locker room.
What's been most of the talk within the group chat within the team? I imagine when you have a guy like Logan Schuss, things are pretty outgoing, to say the least.
Oh yeah, it's hard to keep track of what Logan's up to on a weekly basis, but he's actually probably been tamer than usual because he's got nowhere to go and no stories to tell. But everyone's life is pretty boring right now. I mean, they're staying close to home, and guys really haven't been going away or nothing crazy's been coming out just because everyone's been at home. But it's just nice to keep touch with everyone and make sure they're all doing well.
Let's talk some lacrosse. So what are your takeaways, Matt, from this past regular season? What did you like about your team? What do you think you guys need to improve upon next year?
You know what? I think the biggest thing is we need to continue to get consistent with our play. I thought in the past 2 years, there's been flashes of brilliance, but also it's been followed up by maybe a subpar effort or execution on our part. I think the biggest thing that we need to work on next year is finding a way to be consistent and to keep that, mentality that no matter what happens in the game, whether it's a bad call, a bad bounce, a goal or two go in, either way, we can't change the way we play. We have to keep, pushing and sticking to the system. And that's obviously when we've been most successful. So the takeaway, I think, has been to try and continue that mentality that we preach and, just sticking with things no matter what and kind of ride out the course. And I mean, I think it's going to help, obviously, getting better players in with Mitsky and Porter who are coming in to help us that are proven veterans. And obviously the loss of Nick Billick was a massive injury for us last year early in the season that, looks like he's progressing well and Nick's healthy and he's a great athlete. And when he's ready to come back, the team's going to open him with welcome arms. So, definitely bringing in those pieces are going to help with us staying on track with what we're trying to build here.
A memory that sticks out for me, Matt, was when you guys went back-to-back games over Colorado and New England in mid-January, early February. I think there was a bye week in between there. You guys did it by playing great defense. Penny was an absolute wall. And I remember thinking to myself, man, this team is capable of doing great things. What do you remember about that stretch of play early in 2020?
You know what? A lot of times when you're winning games, it's confidence. Like you feel that energy, you feel that confidence to go out there and maybe extend yourself. And if you make a mistake, your team's going to bail you out. And sometimes when things don't go your way, the same same thing works against you, where you get a little bit, you doubt things, or you doubt your first step, or what your decision is going to be. And I think for some of our younger guys, it's getting that confidence, playing at the top level, winning at that level, winning close games. And that's one thing that, we need to do consistently to try and build the young players that we have in our locker room into, players that don't accept losing, don't accept that mentality that it's okay, just, we're going to win a couple games and lose a couple games. You need to go out there thinking you're going to win every game and continue to have that confidence to make decisions that are going to benefit the team. So now I think when we're playing at our best, we're playing with that confidence that we showed in those stretches.
All right, normally I finish an outside the box interview with a quarantine type quiz, but since you're not stuck at home, you've been in the fire hall for a lot of your time, I thought I'd tweak it to make it more firefighting specific. So I got some questions here ready for you. You just say the first thing that comes to mind, okay?
Good.
All right, what's the most popular food to eat at the fire hall amongst all the guys?
Oh, we've been loving poke bowls.
What's your go-to meal that you cook for everyone?
Pad thai.
When you have some downtime, what's your favorite activity to do at the hall?
Work out.
Can you parallel park the fire truck?
I could, yeah. How big's the spot?
It could fit a fire truck, let's say that.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
What's the first thing you do when you get home after a long shift?
Cool. Give my family a hug. Love seeing my kids.
What teammate at the fire hall is the most messy?
McCree?
Bench press or squats?
Squats.
And last one, when you were doing firefighting training, what was the hardest physical test you had to do?
Honestly, it'd be exerting yourself in the turnout gear. It bakes you inside. It's like an oven. It's like you're wearing a tinfoil jacket.
There it is, another episode of Outside the Box in the books. Matt, thanks for doing this. And again, thanks for all you're doing out there, and stay safe.